Now, making money in the airline industry, it's difficult. AMR Corporation's American Airlines is going to trim seating capacity in the first half of 2012. That'll include a 2% capacity reduction in January. Moves the carrier said were planned before its bankruptcy filing. All right, the question for investors: who is going to benefit from this bankruptcy? How do you make some money now that we know this is happening? Joining us with her advice on how to make some money in the airline industry, Helane Becker, director and airlines analyst at Dahlman Rose. Helane, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
So American Airlines, AMR, in bankruptcy. Who ends up benefiting? Because it must be that there are other airlines out there who are looking to take away some customers.
Yeah, exactly. So we think United is the biggest beneficiary, especially in Chicago and Los Angeles. When you look at American's route structure, they're really not making money in LA. We think they're having a tough time in Chicago. I think the only hub in which they're really profitable is Miami, and that's for the Latin American division, which is hugely profitable right now, not only for them, but for the industry in general. It's a very hot market. You can't get seats, to some of the hotter cities like Buenos Aires and Rio. But given that, United should be their biggest beneficiary. In New York, we think Delta benefits. In Chicago, Southwest will benefit. But we expect American, you mentioned a 2% cut in January. I think by the time they're done with their bankruptcy, they'll have cut about 10% or 15% of their capacity.
10 or 15% of their capacity. So you say put your chips, at least right now, on UAL, because the Continental people are actually running the new UAL Continental.
Yeah, they got their single operating certificate last Wednesday, I want to say, and so now they can really start to get the benefits of the merged operation, right? Up until now, they've been running two separate airlines. So going forward, and as a customer, you're not going to see a significant difference, but you won't have to check in for United flights. If you flew Continental for part of your trip, you're flying United for part of your trip, you have to check in separately right now. Going forward, you'll be able to check in together. They still have to work at the labor situation, but now they can really start to schedule the airline, and that's really 2012 is when they should start to get those revenue synergies.
On just a different point, you wrote in a note today that financing for air leasing companies, European banks have been big in this business. What's happening?
Yeah, so I think given what's going on in Europe and the whole crisis situation over there, they're starting to cut back. And so airlines and aircraft leasing companies are having to go to alternate locations like China, Japan, to get financing.
The search for money.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you very much. Helane Becker joining us from Dahlman Rose, an expert when it comes to the airline industry.